ducks in a row, and then one is like real ugly, and then hey there, boys and girls. How are you doing? Welcome and thank you for joining me and Read with Mr. A today. As you can see, Mr. A is always having fun with these sessions, these times. I find it very enjoyable. So true. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really mean that. Now, we have our story. We're ready to go. I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go? Because I got a great book on deck right here. And before I share the title, if you haven't already, if this is your first time here, if this is your 300th time here and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, go ahead and hit it now. Don't want to forget to do that because it is contributions from folks like yourself, because it doesn't cost you anything, but it's your contributions that help keep our channel going on and on, stronger than ever, and keep building and allowing us to be in front of more families and boys and girls just like yourself. So we truly thank you again. Now, on to the book. I know Mr. A gets on his soapbox sometimes. Can you say the title of this book with me, please? Now, for those of you who may not know the words, I'm going to do it twice. So listen up closely the first time. The title of this book is The Ugly Duckling. You got that? Let's try it again one more time. Title of the book is, say it with me, The Ugly Duckling. Very good. I heard all of you that time. Great job. So, are you ready to find out what The Ugly Duckling is about? I know I am. Let's go. Ugly duckling, hope it isn't that bad. Okay, here we go. Story got to get positioned so you can see the illustration on this side. And I'm going to read the words on this side. So follow along if you can. Here we go. Once upon a time, on a lovely spring day in the country, something exciting was happening. A mother duck's eggs were about to hatch. The eggs began to crack. Peep, peep, said the ducklings. Quack, quack, said their mother. You are the sweetest little yellow ducklings that I have ever seen. Then she noticed that the biggest egg hadn't hatched yet. When the last egg finally cracked open, out tumbled a big, clumsy, gray baby bird. To tell the truth, he was rather funny looking compared to the other ducklings. Can you tell which duckling is different? Go ahead, point to him. Which duckling is different? Great job. The next day, the mother duck led her ducklings to the pond. The eager ducklings jumped right into the water. All of the baby birds swam very nicely, even the one who looked different. See how nicely he holds his head, thought the mother duck. Why, he's almost handsome. Later, the mother duck took her babies to meet all the ducks on the farm. The other baby ducks gathered around the gray baby and said, "Look how ugly he is! Leave him alone!" cried the mother duck. "He may not be good looking, but he is kind and he can swim as well as anyone." And she made that sound after she said that. She said, Soon, none of the other ducklings would play with the ugly duckling. For a while, the little duckling sat all alone. Then he had an idea. I'll practice swimming. The ugly duckling went to the pond and swam and swam and swam. When he stopped, he was very tired. Then he looked around. The ugly duckling had no idea where he was. Suddenly, the duckling heard a big hunting dog nearby. The ugly duckling tried to hide. He was afraid to move. He stayed in the water until morning, when he was sure the dog was gone. He looked scared. The duckling waddled down the road and found a lake where the other wild ducks lived. He decided to stay there. He grew bigger and stronger. Still, none of the wild ducks who lived there would even talk to him because they thought he was too ugly. Soon it was fall. One evening, just at sunset, a flock of beautiful birds flew overhead. They were flying south to find a warmer place to live for the winter. The ugly duckling stretched his neck as far as he could to look at the graceful birds. He felt sad as he watched them. Soon he was shivering and he felt very lonely. Winter came and the pond turned to ice. The ugly duckling set out in search of water that wasn't frozen. Soon he came to a farmhouse that looked very cozy. He waddled into the house and began his search. Finally, he found something: a bathtub full of warm water. It was much smaller than the pond, but it would just have to do. He jumped in and started to swim. The farmer's wife heard all the splashing. She was very surprised to find a large bird inside the house. She grabbed a broom and chased him back out into the snow. Oh, darn. The duckling was really scared now. He found a hiding place under some bushes. Snow fell around him. He tried to stay warm by tucking his head into his wing. The poor ugly duckling had a hard time that long winter. There was barely any food to eat, and the icy wind made him very cold. Just when he thought he couldn't stand it anymore, something wonderful happened. Spring arrived. Now all the birds came back from their winter homes. It was warm enough to go back to the lake. How good it would feel to swim again. When the duckling looked into the lake, he was surprised and confused to see the reflection of a beautiful bird. He was surprised again when he heard some nearby swans speak to him. "Join us," they said. The ugly duckling suddenly realized that the reflection he had seen was his own. Over the winter, he had grown into a beautiful swan. He wasn't a duck at all. No wonder he didn't fit in. When I was an ugly duckling, I never dreamed I could be so happy, he thought. Now that he had friends, the young swan saw beauty in all that surrounded him. The end. Now, if you don't mind, there is a message here on patience. Do you mind if I read it to you all? I can't. Here we go. Patience. Almost everyone was mean to the ugly duckling, right? Was it easy for him to be patient when this happened? Sometimes it's hard to be patient with others who are different from us. Do you think things would be easier if everybody was the same? I'll ask that one more time. Do you think things would be easier if everybody was the same? Remember, today's ugly duckling can be tomorrow's beautiful swan. Great story, huh? We know what to do. If you like this story, please hit that like button. Leave us a comment. Share. Great story. Share. Just like when you go to your favorite restaurant, you want to tell people where you ate some great food. Share that information, okay? Well, affirmation. I think this goes darn near hand in hand with this story. The affirmation is laugh today. Laugh today. Okay? Because what do you think about our story here? Like, who really got the last laugh? This was supposed to be the ugly duckling out the bunch. When those eggs first opened in the beginning, you saw the what we think was the pretty yellow birds and ducklings, and then it's like, hey, what is this thing? He doesn't look like the rest of us. He's ugly, I guess. And is that how? I know that's not how we treat people, right? We don't exclude people because of how they look, right? Because hey, it said we got to look at ourselves in the mirror. We got to see a reflection of ourselves, and it doesn't matter what anybody else says about us, because people will not say some very nice things to us in this lifetime, even in your lifetime, boys and girls. So be prepared for that, and just know who you are as an individual, and how you represent yourself. Know that beauty is from within. So if somebody is telling you that you're ugly, or whatever, whether it's jokingly or not, it's unfortunate for them that they would treat people that way. But we got to give them grace. We got to be patient with them. And maybe, just maybe, they'll transform themselves into a much better version where they are accepting of people regardless of how they look. Laugh today. Make sure we laugh. Find the humor in everything. If you've ever seen the cartoon Batman or the movie Batman, there's a character in there called the Joker, and one of his lines are, "Why so serious?" So make sure we laugh and have fun. We want to thank the author or authors who put the words into this book so that they could share them with us here at Fathers Read 365, and we could share them with you all. And we truly appreciate your time and your energy for being here and listening to our stories and read with Mr. A today. You got the affirmation, and make sure we are staying good, staying positive, and treating people well. That is our message. And you know it. We're going to see you in the next adventure, right? because you hit the subscribe button and you know when you're going to be notified and all that. Well, hey, thank you again. I'm Mr. Ray. Catch you soon. Bye now. Yay, they called him an ugly duckling, and he said, no, I'm not that ugly because I'm a swan.